And welcome back to part 3 of our user login tutorial. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to create a session in which the user can enter a page, and they're allowed to be inside this page as long as they have successfully logged in. Now, to start any session at all, you're going to need a function at the top, which is start session. I believe it's start session, not session start. Let's just give that a quick test. Right, okay, so it must be session start. Always confuses me. It's session start. Okay, so refresh, resend, and you're in. And we've started a session basically. This lets us add a session variable. So you're in. What I'm going to do after this is I'm going to say click here to enter the secret, the member page, okay? And this is going to be a link to a page called member.php. Okay, so let's just recap. As long as we send the right data, we're going to say click here to enter a member page, which we haven't created yet. And we're also going to start, bear in mind we've just created our session start, this is very important. We're going to create a session, and to do this it's similar to most other. It's called well, the correct syntax, sorry, is $_ and session, and then in brackets like this, square brackets, we're going to give it a session name. So I'm going to say username, and that's going to be equal to our username. Okay, or if you like, DB username, because that's more a direct value from the database. Okay, so we have our session set. If we echo out our session in any page now, as long as the user is in their browser, in that browser that you've logged in with, this will be set as a session. So to prove this, I'm going to create a new page. It's going to be the member.php page. So I'm going to save this out as member.php. I think it was member, not members. Yep. And in here, I'm going to say echo, and I'm going to echo and that is the username session. Okay. In fact, I'm going to concatenate on the start welcome, and on the end, just to be a bit more expressive, a exclamation mark. So this should, as long as we've logged in here and run this command here, setting our session in our browser to our username, on any other page you create, if this was any other page along here, if you'd created any page and you used this, as long as it's been set, it will work. Just to let you know, you are also going to need this function inside here as well. So you're going to need session start in every page that you call or declare a session. So let's restart and let's go back to the main page. Okay, so I'm going to log in with my details. That's Alex and ABC. Log in. You're in. Click here to enter a member page. Now I assume now that there's no error. I have successfully created my session. If I click here, welcome, and we've got nothing. So let's go back and see what we've done wrong. DB username. Set this to username. And I'm not using a comparison here, so I have put double equals, which was wrong of me. Okay, so now this should work. Let's go back to our index page and let's log in again as we did before. Log in. Okay, you're in. Click here to enter the member page. Click here, welcome Alex. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to go back to our login page. Now most people would think, oh, that data's been lost now. But if I go back to our member page, that's member.php, press enter, it's still saying Alex. In some circumstances, if I close off my browser and I reopen my browser and I go localhost PHP Academy and go back to my page, that's the login session, and back to my member page, I'm still logged in. Okay, so my user is logged in. If they close their browser, they're still going to be logged in when they enter back. This is a very useful function if you're doing this kind of logging in. A lot of websites use this to keep you logged in. But now what I want to do is I want to create a logout page. Now to log out, all we're going to need to do is create a separate page, and let's just save this as logout.php. And what we need to do is we need to end our session here. So what we're going to do is first of all, before we destroy a session, we need to start it. So session start, okay, and then we're going to need to say, I believe that's the right command, yeah, session start, and we're going to need to say session destroy, destroy, okay, and that will basically be it. If we run this page here, that would destroy our session, and I could say here as a friendly error message, you've been logged out, click here to return. Okay, and I'm going to create this as a link back to our index.php page. Okay, now I'm going to test this again. Let's say in here we're going to need to create, let's say, a break there, and I'm going to create a link to say logout. It's important that we link the user up to our logout.php page, otherwise they don't know how to log out. Okay, so we'll refresh this, and I can see I've got a logout page. Click on this, you've been logged out, click here to return. So I assume now I've been logged out. Let's try and go back to our member page.php, and we've got no variable here. Now you're not going to want the user to have access to this page because they haven't been logged in the first place. So what we're going to say here is we're going to say session start, and I'm going to say if session and the session name. Okay, then I'm going to want to echo out my data to say welcome. Else I'm going to want to die. I'm not going to want to die, but the page is going to want to die, and I want to say you must be logged in. Okay, so basically we're saying if this session exists, i.e. if it has been created by using a correct username and password, we're going to echo out our friendly message to say welcome, otherwise kill the page and say you must be logged in. So this is as far as we're going to go with this, but I'm just going to take you through it. At the moment I'm not logged in. If I do log in, I'm in. There's my member page. I can log out. I return to here. Now the bit that we've just created, member.php, press enter, and you must be logged in. Okay, so if we want to log in and, for example, say I'm going to log in here, but I'm not going to click here to go, I'm just going to forward myself, member.php, my session has been created and I've been allowed access. Okay, so that's it for that. This is the last part of this tutorial. If you've got any questions on this, it's quite complicated, I'm more than happy to help. So thanks for watching and see you soon.